Boy, am I excited.
Royal Rumble's rolling around, and the word in the locker room is that everybody's gunning for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There needs to be more respect for tradition of wrestling in the WWF.
And black hearts feel no pain.
He's left me! Of the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance.
To drag that big dead ass carcass.
Boy, am I excited.
Steve Austin is going to do unto others before they do unto him. If you two are up there, then who's in the casket?
Hello and welcome to a brand new show here from A Work in Progress. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly Beatitude Era. I am your host, Brent Biles. And even though we are now into 1998, we have not done anything different since 1997 because my co-host still is the Barroom Brawl and the Disco Dance, the Dynamite Stretch, and Intercontinental Playboy. Folks, he's more over than Liv Morgan in tight jean shorts. No, he's not. At Glenn, how are you doing?
No, I'm not. I passed two this morning. I was sweating buckets. And then that came on the screen and made me sweat even more.
I saw someone, Liv Morgan's out here breaking the internet. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw some pictures.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to 1998 because it's where the WWF finally turned the Monday Night Wars into their favor. Basically started grinding away at the WCW and turning it to dust.
Yeah, as we get through it here, we will notice the ratings will start to go up and up, and they'll go up for both shows for a little while, but then one show will continue to go up and one show will go down. And we're going to go all the way down the road on that one. And also we're going to cover the shows a bit different now, since we're calling the show The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. We are going to each have separate categories where we will take things that we think are good from the show, things that we think are bad from the show, and things that we think are downright ugly from the show. So we're not going to talk about every single aspect of these shows. The pay-per-views, we will talk about the entire pay-per-view, but for the Raw shows, we're both going to pick a few things that we think are good, a few things that we think are bad, a few things that we think are ugly. And depending on how we're both feeling that week, if we're feeling happy, joy, we'll go with the good one thing first. And if we're feeling down in the dumps and we want to rant about something, then we'll go with the ugly first.
Well, I think with this show, we go with the good first.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to rant and rave
no, there's
about
not.
on this one.
There's not.
I really only have one thing under the ugly. Well, two things under the ugly category.
Yeah. Guess what they are?
I do have three bad things, but I don't have as many ugly things. But I have several good things as well. Why don't you give me your first good thing, Glenn?
My first good thing.
Well, wait a minute. I forgot. We have to do the whole... It was Raw's War from January 5th, 1998 in the New Haven Coliseum in New Haven, Connecticut. I forgot, Glenn, that I have to do my whole spiel. The New Haven Coliseum opened in 1972, and the WWE considered this to be its home arena as it was the closest venue to WWE's headquarters in Sanford, Connecticut. This arena has held many Raws and had many house shows take place. But the very first episode of SmackDown was done at this arena. This arena did close down in September of 2002. And the final event held at this arena was the WWF house show on August the 26th of 2002. There's actually a documentary that you can watch on the PBS website about this entire arena called The Last Day of the Coliseum. It talks all about the history of it. If you're into that sort of thing, I watched a little bit of it. Howard Finkel's on it, if that does anything for you. Also, we are 2 weeks away from the Royal Rumble and 12 weeks away from WrestleMania 14. Now, Glenn, go ahead and give me that good thing.
2 words for you. It's not what do you think? It's Steve Austin.
Oh.
The promo that he kicked the show off with was probably as good as anything that he had done in 1997.
Yeah, it was a great way to start the show because it kind of, like, from the beginning showed you that the main focus of the show was going to be Steve Austin. He was going to be kicking people's ass throughout the show. And he does do that.
Boy, does he do that.
Yeah, there's a running thing throughout the show where Austin's just stunning people and or beating them up. The Farouk and Ken Shamrock are the first match. After the match, he gets in there and stuns both of them. There's something from My Bad that's in here, but Jeff Jarrett has a match. He loses. He stuns Jeff Jarrett. He beats up Mark Henry in the locker room.
Or so we think. Don't actually see it happening, but
he definitely made it seem as if he just beat him.
yes, yeah.
Maybe it was the Headbangers, though. They were in there with him, so maybe they did it.
I very much doubt it. They didn't look like they could beat up anything else. Could be one of my bads, by the way. Then. Anyway.
Oh, the
What's your good?
Another good that I have is the Paul Bearer promo over Kane being gone, which Glenn had a hilarious thing that he. What did you message me this morning when you saw that?
I message you is Paul Bearer must be really careless. He keeps on losing 6'10" monsters.
Right, that's a problem.
It is.
He really needs to get his eyesight checked.
It took bloody Frank Drebin to find the Undertaker for him.
Yeah. And Wesley Nielsen, yeah.
Wesley Nielsen.
Wait, that's his character from Naked Gun, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So then it comes out here tonight, looking all disheveled and sleepless and even more of a state than he normally does.
Yeah, that's why I said much worse than he normally does.
As announces that he's lost Kane now.
Yeah,
How? How can you? I mean, 6'10", bright red. How can you lose it?
Wearing a fucking mask. Apparently, he's horribly disfigured.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, where did he said he looked high and low? Where does Kane hang out?
I know.
Is he at the arcade? Did Paul Bearer check the arcade to see if Kane was there plugging quarters into Miss Pac-Man?
Unless since Cactus Jack's back, he's gone down into the boiler room.
That could be. Maybe that should have been the first place Paul should have checked is the boiler room. I like that he cursed to the ground the Undertaker walked on. He said he hates his guts. He poisoned the mind of Kane last week. If you don't know, Kane showed up. Kane was out in the ring last week, and had like 10 guys show up to beat him up. And then the Undertaker came out, and they beat everybody up together. So apparently that has made Kane question everything that Paul Bearer has ever told him, and he has apparently disappeared into thin air.
Yes.
But for all that, I did think that the way it was presented was pretty good.
The promo was brilliant. It certainly was.
Especially with the way that he looked, because as you know, if you've seen Paul Bearer, it's not hard to make him look a whole lot worse than he already does. And I mean that with all due respect.
We know he'd already lost the hair dye, but to have him all disheveled and basically it was Paul Bearer and Percy Pringle all mingled into one.
It really
it was really good. Well done.
That's pretty good. It's a pretty good analogy there, Glenn. Yeah, so then he begs Kane to come back and he leaves the ring. So that was one of my good things. Let's step away from the good now a little bit because it can't all be good. Glenn, why don't you give me one of your bad things that you thought was bad on the show?
Did we really need Ken Shamrock and Farouk yet again? I know that they're trying to tell the story of how there's disillusionment within the Nation of Domination, but really, this is basically all my bads are. Why are we seeing this again?
Yeah, I don't have that one in my bad because. I don't know. I guess I kind of blocked it all out, other than the Stone Cold Steve Austin stunning thing.
Yeah, that's it.
But you're right, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was either the Raw before this one or the one before that. We already saw this match.
Yep.
So, and it kind of ended the same way as the last one, where like a smudge finish. So it was kind of a waste. You're right.
Yeah.
I think it would have been much better served if you just got The Rock out there to do a promo and have Ken Shamrock come out there. That would have probably been done better.
And then have Steve Austin come out and stun the pair of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have solved all that in a few minutes.
Definitely. One of mine to go along the same thing that you were saying is they're still trying to give me Tom Brady versus Mark Marrow, even though nobody wants it. It's not a big money. They even made a goddamn video package for this. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Nobody cares. Oh, we only care about Sable. That's the only thing we care about. Nobody cares about the rest.
And the whole of the Colosseum only cared about Sable, as they blatantly, obviously showed.
I mean,
They even had to censor it at one bit because they were being a bit rude about Mark Merrow and what's his face?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brandy.
They were probably changing "You suck" what Johnny Ace does to Shane Douglas.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's
Something like
exactly
that.
what this did. Is it sucked?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Tom Brady, like as he runs down to the ring, and what could possibly be the slowest run to the ring I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why we think. And if it was going to be somebody that needed to give like Mark Merrow some comeuppance, why does it have to be Tom Brady? Like, make it someone that we're actually going to care about. Nobody gives a fuck about Tom Brady.
no.
Nobody cared when he was Sal Sincere, and I
That's
certainly
it.
don't care now that he's fucking Tom Brady.
Basically, they put a jobber in the spotlight for
Right.
no reason,
He could have just
And
put
then-
Barry Horowitz out there. I would have
and
cared
then,
more.
and then wondered why Mark Merrow sank with him.
Yeah. No shit. That's why. That's exactly why. But it made up for it at the end. Mark Merrow does get the win. With some underhanded tactics.
Mhm.
Hopefully that doesn't mean that we have to fucking see more of this. But luckily, Stone Cold Steve Austin hits the ring and hits Merrow with the stunner. So
Yeah,
that made it all
it made it all worthwhile.
a little bit tolerable. Okay, Glenn, you got anything that was downright ugly?
Barry Windham with a few extra pies inside him.
At least he wasn't the stalker.
No, but he did not look out of shape. And wearing trunks is not a good look when you're out of shape.
Yeah, it's like they've abandoned the.
It's sad.
It's like they abandoned the new Blackjacks tag. Team, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And what happened to the blonde Adonis that was Barry Windham in WCW?
I think maybe some injuries got up with him, and then he wasn't able to keep his body up the way he wanted to, and then he was the stalker, man.
Yeah.
And apparently the Widowmaker, because we were watching an episode of Superstars with the Mayor. Check that out on YouTube if you haven't already, the Mayor of Superstars. And he has a match next week, and he's called the Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker.
I'm assuming like that
Oh,
means like
Barry.
he kills women's husbands, right? He's the Widowmaker.
Yes, yeah, you would think so. They have to make sure that whatever jobber he's killing is married.
They make him his wife. They're like, all right, you got to bring Janet with you.
Yeah.
Yep, he's going to kill you, and then she's going to be a widow. He's the fucking Widowmaker. Come on. I had the whole NWA North American title match in my bad because why?
Yeah, exactly. They drag out two guys that nobody knows, carrying a belt that looked like it had come straight out the WWF shop.
Yeah, it looked like a toy, didn't it?
It did. It looked so small and well, pointless, really.
Yeah, and like to bring back the NWA in 1998, right now, WWF's target audience is teenagers, like 14, 15-year-old boys in 1998. Do you think that they give a fuck about the NWA? No, they don't even know what the fuck that means. Unless you're talking about Eazy-E in 1998, you told me NWA, I would have went, what the fuck is that? Unless you're talking about Eazy-E.
Yeah, and you consider that up to that point in the NWA, that North American title was their second top title, and they just made a nonsense of it on Raw is War.
Yeah, they definitely didn't do. I don't think. Yeah, they didn't do the NWA or the North American Championship. their North American title any favors whatsoever with this whole thing. I mean, we're going to get a whole bunch more of this NWA stuff going forward for a couple of months, and we're probably going to be scratching our heads at it, over and over again. But it's Jeff Jarrett. He wins the NWA North American Championship from Barry Windham.
Can I just ask you something?
Oh yeah.
Do you know who Reckless Youth is?
So I've heard the name Reckless Youth, but I don't know. I've never seen any of his matches or anything.
I don't know who he was either until I read this, but he vacated the North American title in December of '97. So it's his fault that this was even a thing.
Well, darn him. Yeah, I've heard the name Reckless Youth on many a podcast, and I've heard people talk about him, but I don't even know what he looks like. I've never heard of the man. I mean, obviously I heard of him because I just said I heard a whole bunch about him, but I've never seen him wrestle. I've never even seen a picture of him. Have you ever seen him wrestle a match, Reckless Youth?
No, I haven't.
Maybe that's something we should do, Glenn. Maybe we should watch a Reckless Youth match. Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't in my ugly section, but it was in the bad. My downright ugly thing, I'm going to save my ugliest thing for last, but this one was, I don't want to see the Jackal come out anymore and like give weird forehead kisses and jewels to what appear to be underage girls. It gives me the willies.
That's right. Yeah,
I don't like it.
That was on my list as well.
Yeah, we didn't have the willies. We only have the ugly, so I had to put it under the ugly.
Yeah. But the whole thing of Scarlet April against Sniper and Recon, why? It was blatant that they don't know what to do with these guys. None of them. It's hard to say it when you've watched such a bad match. Is that none of them are bad wrestlers?
Yeah, well, except for the one guy on the Truth Commission. Bull Buchanan's fine, but the other guy's a little
bit. Yeah, he's a little bit green.
Yeah.
The Harrises, they're fine.
Right.
And why are they putting them in this situation? It is bad. It is bad.
Yeah.
About it.
This is good, and some of it's like Glenn said, when it's bad, it's really bad. Yeah, and I'm surprised that the DOA is even really still a thing because they don't even have Crush anymore, and he was the whole entire point of them making that group. And I don't think they have a lot of plans for the two big bald guys and fucking the fake Undertaker.
Well, in the notes, I've got speaking of nowhere, this feud is headed there, but that's because the booking team has no idea what to get out of either team.
Yeah. And it seems like that with a lot of tag teams in WWE right now in this era. They just have a bunch of teams they don't know what to do with. Like we haven't got Edge and Christian yet. We haven't got the Hardys yet. The best tag team they had were Owen and Davey, and Davey's gone now. So
yeah, they would have been better off just having Kurgan and a manager.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than having the whole of the Truth Commission doing nothing.
Yeah, and I don't think the Truth Commission or DOA are long for this world. At least I don't think so. I know Bull Buchanan will be around for a while, but I don't know about the other guy.
No.
And I definitely know that the Jackal doesn't stay around for long. What else do you have that was good from the show?
Owen Hart beating Savio Vega. That was a good match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that match. Then Degeneration X went and spoiled it a bit.
As you figured they would.
Yeah.
Because they came out and did a whole promo before, and they were like, Owen Hart, watch your backs. Once I saw Owen was coming out. What did you think about that Owen promo when he was up on the Videotron when they were in the ring? I thought it felt a bit off.
That was off.
Yeah.
That's in one of my ugly bits.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was just ugly. Yeah, all this thing about him being the Black Heart. It doesn't suit him.
No.
You're not that sort of character.
No, it doesn't work for him. I didn't like it either. It was just, it seemed really it was like somebody wrote it for him.
Especially when DX are heels anyway. You don't need Owen Hart to be a heel.
True. Yep. That's
Yeah,
basically what they're doing.
he could be the revengeful baby face. He doesn't need to be this emotionless heel. There's no need for it.
Right. And then he should have, I don't know, he should have been more forward with it, I thought. He's kind of like, I don't want to come out there because you're not healed up yet. I'm gonna wait till it's healed so I can break it again. And then it really just felt for it. It really felt like somebody wrote it for him. I'm not saying someone did, but that's just how when it came off. But anyway,
somebody definitely did.
Yeah, bro. maybe not. Maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. But keep going about the Savio Vega Owen Hart match.
Again, the having all the rest of the break was there. Surplus to requirements.
Yeah.
No, it just seems like they're so frightened to pull the plug on stuff that doesn't work. Like they tried the faction thing, it didn't work. It jumped the shark when the Break was towing away DLA's motorbikes.
Yeah.
And that was halfway through the year before. So they should be easing all this down now and not still having these factions that are not doing anything apart from cheating.
Yeah, but I mean the only one of these factions that has any substance is the Nation. That's it.
Yeah.
And DX, but DX is really only 3 people. They don't. Well, I guess they kind of do the same things, but
yeah, but at the moment, we know where DX goes and we know where the Nation goes, and they go in totally opposite directions.
Yeah. Owen Hart's going to join the Nation soon. So
yes, oh god, that. Yeah, I'll save it that bad for down the line.
Well, yeah, we'll hold on to that one for later. I enjoyed the I don't know if this might be in your bad, but I like the Headbangers versus New Age Outlaw match. Did you have that in your bad? I thought you mentioned.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I actually had that in the good. It showed Road Dogg how much worse of a wrestler than the other 3 are. That was my one take from that. Apart from that, he does bump well.
The Road Dogg.
Road Dogg.
Yeah.
He's good at taking lots. That's what makes him and Billy Gunn such a good tag team. Is Road Dogg will take a lot. His offense isn't very good, but he will take a lot of bumps. And then you get the blind tag, and Billy comes in and actually does the wrestling.
Yeah, Billy's the heater.
Yeah,
and that's the core of any good tag team or a faction. You always want one guy who seems like a chicken shit, and you feel like, I'm not saying that I could beat Road Dogg up, or that I'm just saying you look at that guy and you think, oh, I could kick his ass, but then he's got Billy Gunn with him, who's a little bit bigger, and you might be able to kick his ass, but you probably can't kick Billy Gunn's ass.
They're not going to kick the pair of them, no.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's going to run his mouth forever, but I can't do anything about it because that guy will kick my ass.
And from the early dark days of 1997, we've been saying it how underused the Headbangers were.
Yeah, criminally.
So, yeah. Again, showed how good they are. What a good tag team they are against a decent another tag team.
And very innovative for that time of wrestling, because they were doing a lot of tag team tandem moves that you didn't see a whole lot of teams doing in that era. No. And going back, I didn't appreciate the Headbangers at all watching this as a teenager, but when you go back and watch it with sort of different eyes, I thought they were a really good tag team, and putting in a different gimmick in a different light, I think they would be remembered differently by wrestling fans, because I don't think anybody's when you talk about tag teams, I don't think anybody's going to start throwing around the Headbangers names. But
no, but if you put the Headbangers in prime headbangers into the mix of what the tag team division looks like now on WWE, I think that they'd get a lot more credit than they did.
I absolutely think you're right. I think you could definitely drop those guys into wrestling now with that. Maybe even not. I don't know if you could go that far with the gimmick. But
I know they are still wrestling, but I'm talking about in their prime, not as
that's what I mean too. I don't mean like current day. I don't mean current day Mosh and Thrasher. I meant that 1998 Mosh and Thrasher. But yeah, so this is a fun match. Billy wins with a roll up after they miss the stage dive the Headbangers do. They're beaten up after the match, and then Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie come running out into the ring. I never seen a saw shoot off so many sparks like that one.
No. If we had an "Oh my God" moment, that would be it.
Oh, 100%. That is a "Oh my God" moment.
And I never tire of seeing Terry Funk out there going mad.
Yeah, just fucking whipping that fucking chainsaw around.
He nearly took Cactus Jack's head off at one point. Mick just managed to duck out the way as he waved him.
It's a good thing I don't. It's a good thing I don't think that was actually a live chainsaw all the time.
No.
So gonna have Terry Funk hack off somebody's arm in the front row.
It was a hefty bit of metal that would have done Cactus some damage if it had actually connected with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. He would have had one of his many concussions. Right,
I've got a good, bad, and ugly here.
Go. Let's hear it, Glenn. Give me the bad first.
The bad. The artist formerly known as Gold Dust with Luna Vachon.
I put that in the ugly.
The ugly was him coming out in blackface and a wig.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was watching this on my iPad and I had my headphones on. And he comes walking out there, and I went, "Oh no! Oh no! My wife's like, "What? What?" I was like, "I don't even want to explain it to you." And I was like, "No.
And the good bit is Luna interferes at 2 minutes 32 and get done by disqualification. It was short.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he was supposed to be dressed like a pimp.
God knows.
I guess that's what they were going for. Or Shaft, maybe, is what they said.
Oh, God.
You ever heard of Shaft? You a bad mother.
Motherfucker. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Richard Roundtree. I do know him.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Oh, I've seen it a few times. Anyway, yeah, so that was that.
Yeah.
So, sweep that under the carpet and move on.
Yeah, Vader came out and laid him out. I guess they have a match at the Royal Rumble. My very last bad that I have is like, did I need to be reminded 258 times that Don King was going to be, or they were going to talk to Don King tonight? They literally said it 100,000 times.
I had that too. And this whole thing is overhyped because it never ever lived up to the hype. And I can't actually remember any of this hype, but all that last week what we had, and then this week, and Don King going in there and cutting a promo, which was basically just rambling.
Yeah, he said, "I'm excited. We're excited. I'm so excited. We haven't got the deal done yet, but we will get it done because I'm excited. You're excited. He's excited. She over there is excited. My neighbor's excited."
Yeah, that's exactly
that part of Vander Holyfield's ear that got bit off. It's excited.
Yeah.
Shit. So, do you have any more last good things from the show? I have one final one. It might be that we might have the same thing.
Go with it then.
The very ending of the show, with Shawn Michaels calling out the Undertaker, I thought was pretty.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah.
He's knocking on the thing and going, "Come out, Hunter. I know you're a China in there." And then they come out onto the ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What's in there then? Oh.
Yeah, I also liked the little video package that they made of the Hell in a Cell match that the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had.
That Considering we only watched that a few weeks ago with Dan, I thought that looks better than I remember it.
Yeah, that's one of those matches where every time you watch it, you just go, "Wow!" You know, you can watch it 100 times, and every time, you
Yeah.
go, "Wow,
Wow.
are you shitting me?" Yeah, Shawn comes out there. He's by himself, which I was surprised by. But then we actually found out why. He's like, I already beat the Undertaker, but the Undertaker doesn't know when to quit. He tells the Undertaker, "Get out here so I can smack you around." The Undertaker's music hits. The Druids are pushing out a casket, but it's the same casket as last week that's got DX shit all over it and suck it, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, this is great. Come on, China Hunter. You can do better than this. The same thing we did last week. Okay, I'll give you the word. Break it down. Come on, come out. Break it down." And then China wheels Hunter because Hunter's in a wheelchair right now because he dislocated his kneecap or something like that. And they're trying to get Shawn's attention. Hey! And finally, Shawn looks up and he's like, "You guys are up there. Then who's in here?" And it's the Undertaker. And he grabs Shawn by his little neck and just yanks him down to the casket and starts. Yeah, well, who knows? We didn't see what was happening.
It goes black, which is perfect way to finish.
Yeah, the best way to end the show because it goes just off the air just like that, which I thought was.
For anybody wondering why we're only 30 minutes in, where we normally do an hour for these shows. Next week we will not only be doing this, but we will have football to talk about as well. So we will be extending it next week. There's nothing to talk about this week.
Tomorrow at 9:30 my time, Glenn. We play against Bournemouth.
I know.
Yeah.
Strange time.
Woohoo! I'm not done yet though, Glenn, because I have some notable signs that I saw from the crowd.
Oh right, okay then. Yes, go on. Go with notable signs.
Did you see any good signs that you can note or remember?
I can't, to be honest.
Okay, so there was "I Like It Raw," which I also think is an Old Dirty Bastard song.
Yeah.
I like it raw. I like it raw, which is probably why he died. Anyway, The Rock fights like a girl. Which, if you ask The Rock, he'll tell you all about the time he made that sign. He says this would be a great idea and gave it to that little girl and said, "Here, hold this sign. It'll help me get me over." So big up to The Rock.
All right, okay.
Just like he knew to insert Cody Rhodes into the main event of WrestleMania. He was smart enough to know that. Sonny Strip for us. That was one of the signs.
Sorry, but that would be.
Well, you could pay for that. I think a couple of years ago, you could have paid for that kind of action on the internet.
Yeah. And that would have definitely been in the bad category.
It would have absolutely. Well, she was on this show, Glenn. You remember?
Yes, dressed as a schoolgirl.
She definitely was. And I thought that a lot of people, Glenn, that would make it on their good list. I thought about bad and I thought about ugly for that one, but a lot of people would put that.
Would have put it on their good list. That's what I definitely.
Don't let me get it wrong, Glenn. When I was fucking 14, it would have absolutely been on the very tippy top of my good list, if you know what I mean.
Of course it would.
But as a 40-year-old man, I look at Sonny a little bit different. I saw another one that said, "Sonny, adopt me," which I don't know which one's worse, Sonny stripping for you or adopting you, because you don't want either one of those.
No.
In my personal opinion. But that's it, Glenn. That is all.
If you wanted to adopt you, just make sure that you've got a valid ID card and enough money to buy them the amount of booze that she needed.
$250,000 is what you're going to need. Let's talk about the TV ratings, though, Glenn.
Okay, yeah.
I think we should. So on January 5th, 1998, WWE Raw did a 3.34. And Nitro did a 4.35. So Nitro did beat them by a full point. But as you can see, WWF's ratings do keep going up because it was. They
were already up because they were in the twos towards the end of 97.
Yeah, so the last two episodes of 97 were a 2.97 and 2.69. So they hadn't been at a 3 since December 1st. So, and that's the highest rating that they've had since November 10th. So,
yeah.
And it's not going to be below 3 for the foreseeable future. Now that I'm looking at, I don't want to say the exact numbers, but it's
no.
I don't think it falls below 3 again. I don't think.
Okay, so who did we have on WCW, what were we watching on there when we were flicking between the two channels?
We would have seen the United States Heavyweight Championship defended by Diamond Dallas Page, who defeated one Chris Jericho. Also, Bill Goldberg continued his undefeated streak against someone whose action figure I just picked up this week, and that is Stevie Ray. Also, John Nord. You know who John Nord is?
No, I don't.
This is a battle of guys who wrestled for WWE in the early 90s. John Nord is the Berserker.
Oh,
and
right.
He defeated the Barbarian.
That's two mighty meaty men slapping me.
Definitely. Also, Booker T defended his World Television title successfully against Prince Iaukea. Also, Ray Traylor teamed with the Steiner brothers to defeat the NWO. That was Buff Bagwell, Conan, and Scott Norton. They had Vincent with them. Hashtag fuck money, get the breadsticks ready. In a match that belongs in 1989, Rick Martel defeated Brad Armstrong.
God.
And the main event of the evening was Lex Luger defeating one Macho Man, Randy Savage. And that is what we would have seen when we were flipping channels on January 4th, 1998.
I'm glad I stayed with WWF then.
Some of those matches probably were okay. But yeah, I don't know what the promos were like.
The last two, as you say, they're from a bygone era. And they're playing exactly into WWF's hands when they keep on going on about the old men down south.
Yeah, and I believe at this point, WCW is still trying to piece together the situation of what happened between Hogan and Sting at Starrcade, where Sting won the belt, but then they had to hold it up because of Bret Hart being the special guest referee, and there was supposed to be a fast count when there wasn't. So, yeah. I mean, WCW is still going to do some good things, and they're still going to get some good ratings and some good buy rates, but it's not going to be. This is the time where they're just started throwing tons of people. Like I just read to you, Buff Bagwell's in the NWO. So
yeah, I know.
So there's
the beginning of the end for the NWO.
Yes, absolutely, it is. But that's it. That's it. We got nothing else to discuss from this week's, and I wouldn't expect that maybe all of these episodes are going to get up to an hour because we're not talking about every episode of every part of the show anymore. Some of them probably will go an hour, and some of them might not. But we will spend probably a good at least 7 to 10 minutes talking football from now until May. So
I was going to say, I think it will depend on how well Arsenal do that week.
Yes, that's true. If we get into wrestling right away and we don't talk about Arsenal, I have a feeling me and you both were going quickly to an ugly or bad thing first.
Yes, yeah.
Because we'll be in a bad mood because they lost.
We'll definitely be in a bad mood. Anyway.
But Glenn, who do you want to plug before we get out of here?
I'm booking the territory. Sorry, Dan, about the football. We'll talk about that when it happens.
Or maybe we're not sorry, Dan, because maybe he'll be sick of fucking hearing us talk about Arsenal.
Yeah, hopefully. The first and last of wrestling and SI projects. I'm stuck in the territory. The Road to Wembley, 1981, with Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks, which was watched by 18 million people, 18 million viewers, which is the most watched wrestling show of all time. They have Being the Elite Gator Golf, where they put away the Gator Golf set and did other tasks for Series 2. I don't know if they're going to go back with Series 3 on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long this thing ran on Being the Elite, but I guess
no.
I'd like to see Dan take on. I'd like to see Dan and Rob have a. I want them to do all the competitions that they do on the show. I want them to play Gator Golf. I want them to do Flippy Cup. I want them to play beer pong. I'm sure those guys are great at beer pong.
Beer pong, yeah, they that'd be a shoo-in for them.
Yeah. You can call it the UTT Olympics. I like it.
And so about shoo-ins, of course, their other little project that they finished now, which was unbooking the Tankatory, the Life and Times of Tank Abbott, which we totally ripped off with Sid.
Yes, we did. One man's ripped off is another man's borrowed, Glenn.
Yeah, all right. And you can still get tank facts or X Twitter with if you look up at booking the Tankatory. Of course, the DC and Doc, they're back doing their stuff on DDT Wrestling. And of course,
The Doctor Who podcast with Danny Inside. That is on SJP World Media.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Of course, give the other member of our podcast team, the Mayor of Canton, a follow on the Twitter X. He does a meal with the mayor every Wednesday where he tries crap food that he'll be really happy because he's on a diet and doesn't get to eat fast food very often. So he'll either be very upset that they've ruined his cheat day or very happy that his cheat day has been ruined. Or that cheat day hasn't been ruined, excuse me. Yeah, so make sure you give the mayor, it's at Mayor of Canton, give him a follow. And make sure, of course, you check out everything that's going on with Sports Wire Radio and our good buddy Thomas Bryce. Follow Thomas B. Rice on all the social media platforms and check out the website, sportswireradio.org. That is sports with a Z, if you know what I mean. And, of course, check out all the other stuff we got going on. We got an episode of the Mayor of Superstars out right now. You can check out a review of 1989 Halloween Havoc that me and Glenn did. And of course, I don't know shit, the life and times of Psycho Sid. We are up to episode 42, I believe, and we will be building towards his match with Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series 1996 for the WWF Championship, which will include some matches against Owen Hart and some other jobbers. And of course, Glenn, some epic promos back and forth between the two. So make sure you check out the next few episodes of that as we build towards Psycho Sid challenging for the WWF Championship. And that's it. That is all. Next week, be on the lookout next week, next Wednesday, or Thursday when the show comes out. I forget that we recorded on Tuesday, but we're not going to put it out till Thursday, so that's why I named all three of those days. Be on the lookout next Thursday. I'm going to tell Glenn the next monthly pay-per-view that we're going to be reviewing. I'll be making that selection next week, so be on the lookout for that. And everything else that we got going on. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. We got 35 new ones this week. We're trying to get 35,000 next week. I'm just kidding. That won't happen, but it's worth a goal to try.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. I'm done running my mouth. Glenn, say goodbye.
Goodbye.